Let's play this song and we'll be right back, y'all.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. If we don't put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, 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 welcome to Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And let me know how we sound on the audio before we begin. Let me know how it sound before we begin, please, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I want to say good evening to everyone. And that song that you just heard, that is the Facts remix, presented to you by none other than the 44 Tops. You dig? Make sure you go ahead. Make sure you go ahead and download the album. It's available on Buy Me a Coffee, and I'll drop the link for the band Zoogle, which is the page that you just saw, which is literally where we house our music. You know what I mean? We don't have it on the streaming services at the moment. So that's one of the places where you could go and indulge in the catalog. And with that being said, I want to go ahead and do the roll call. I want to know who's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and do the roll call and see who's outside. All right. So yeah, man. Let's go. All right. Somebody said that song made me cry for real. Oh man, I like that. Like that. You know, that means it's doing what it's supposed to do. Feel me? That set the vibes. Charlotte in the building. Lansing. Uh, yeah. North Vegas. Shout out to North Vegas. Shout out to Tucson, Arizona. Shout out to California. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to AZ. Shout out to Wisconsin. South Jersey in the building. I see you. Nashville, Tennessee. All right. Bishopville, South Carolina. Northwest. New Bedford, Massachusetts. All right. VA. What up, though? DC in the building. Gulfport, Mississippi in the building. Santa Rosa, California. West London in it. In it. Pontiac, Michigan. All right. Pontiac, Michigan. Shout out to the Pontiac family in Michigan. Okay. Let me drop this link. All right. What up, though? Zolan, Crenshaw, Merritt Island, Florida. Now I'm talking about Georgia, 912. We got Shreveport, NYC, Charlotte, NC, Cincinnati. Yo, Charlotte, talk black to me. I'm getting phone calls. They asking for the pills. You know what I'm talking about? I'm getting phone call. They asking for the pillars in Charlotte. People who didn't show up the last time didn't get outside, and the people that was outside, they calling. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all ready for part deuce? Part deuce? You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring Pope Pablo to you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm bring Pope Pablo to the Carolinas. Alexandria. We got South Carolina. We having more South Carolina. Detroit, Hollywood, Melbourne, Australia. Y'all outside tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, y'all outside, man. Peace to the family in a building. You know what I mean? On this good Thursday. Um, we gonna be here. We not gonna be here all night. I'm just putting that out there from the gate. You understand me? We're gonna pop out, have a great show, and then I'm going back in my back cave. You feel me? I'm in study mode. I have a workshop coming up tomorrow entitled 100 Income Streams. But this is a part of AI Accelerated. So let me just preface it real quick. Um, 3 years ago, maybe even no, matter of fact, we're in 2025. Look how time is going so fast. 5 years ago, in the trailblazing historic year of 2020, right? I'm surprised 2020 movies ain't start coming out, but in the year of 2020, and maybe even before that, but definitely in the year of 2020, we did a workshop and we entitled it, right? 100 income streams, right? And back in 2020, right? There was the opportunity for people to realize the unrealizable, right? The unrealizable, the whole challenge of if we can quote unquote create 100 income streams. Now, it's not a solo dolo thing. This is not bragging rights. This is really never about doing things on your own because, what the hell is that about? You know what I mean? What fun is that? When you're just here to brag about some shit you did on your own. No shorties helped you. You know what I'm saying? No family members, no investors, no sponsors, no mentors, no coaches, right? You had no teachers. Um, No loans, like nothing happened. It's just you just cut. No, it's not the story. It's not the story we want to tell. The story that we tell is with the collective, how you could come together as a team and make something happen that necessarily has not happened in your lifetime as of yet, that you know about, that everybody else might know about as well. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen a movement or a team or even an individual who had 100 income streams active, right? Where it could be proven and shown, like, I got 100 income streams. Here are my 100 accounts, or here's the 100 streams. Here's proof of stream, right? POS, proof of stream. And I haven't met a group of people who had 100 income streams that are all legal. Now, please let me just preface and use a disclaimer, because we are in the age of the Yahoo men and other things. Everything that I'm talking about with these streams and the 100 income streams are 100% legal, right? From when we were all the way back in 2020 up to now. And it wasn't even, yeah. So the possibilities of having either a group or a collective or maybe even a whole organization where they run and they operate and they're able to successfully balance 100 income streams, it has endless possibilities, right? Endless possibilities versus you got a 9 to 5, the 401k, and some other things, Social Security, and that's the bet, right? You're gonna give them 30, you know what I'm talking about, and then you're gonna tap out, right? My dad is 77, and this is the year that he's retiring, right? And that's because he's a professor, so he's like, he was doing this because he wanted to do it. This is his passion to teach. Like, it's my passion to teach, right? So what we'll be doing tomorrow, because with the difference of when we started in 2020, when we were bringing the community the information about income streams and multiple income streams and 100 income streams eventually, is that AI in the capacity that it exists today did not exist back then, right? AI in the capacity that it exists today did not exist back then. So what has AI done in the field of gaining advantage to, actualizing or realizing the 100 income stream formula, right? What it has done is that now we could marginalize and compartmentalize and show you strategically how you could build 100 income streams utilizing the tool deck and the tool stack, or rather the tech stack of the AI tools that will actually help you do that right now. You feel me? No speculation, no none of that rolling the dice type of stuff. No disrespect to anybody and whatnot. But everything that I'm talking about is practical that you could do right now. The only reason a person wouldn't do it is because they didn't do it. Has nothing to do with the formula or the method, is because they didn't do it. That's the only thing that will stop you, is you, especially with these tools right now. So that's what we bring in to the workshop tomorrow, 100 income streams. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. You know what I mean? I look forward to seeing my KT aliens in the building, because if you were here with us in 2020, then you know how we do. You know what we came. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pin it right here for the Eventbrite. And it's a good course. It's a good rate right now. So take full advantage of the price. I did that for tonight. You know what I mean? So take full advantage of the price that we have it at. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. And we're going to have a 4-week workshop. It's gonna be me and the good brother Spin City. If y'all know anything about the track record about what we've been doing since 2025 has started with these AI accelerated series, then man, I'm I don't want to be somebody who toots their own horn. So what I'll do is I'll turn to the students, right? They say the best promotion is word of mouth, and the most sought after promotion is testimonials. So all of my KTLians that are in the audience, just do me a favor and let everybody in the building know, I'm talking about what we have done over the course of 2025 in the fields specifically of the triple A, and that is automation, agents, right? And APIs, okay? In the field of AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Okay? And doing what we do on Melanin Mondays and Third Eye Thursdays and other fields, other genre has nothing to do with that right there. But in that field where this is literally 2025 is the year of, as you can see, you don't need me to say it. Just look at what's going on. Look at the president going crazy. Look at all of they put in you never heard nobody say this is literally, well, the year, as far as the year has been since it started, both that, right? What we know as the conversation revolving and everything in that realm, both good and bad, both good and bad. I saw a video today where Julian Assange, a well-known, not just a well-known, but almost, the textbook version of a whistleblower in these days and times and whatnot. He's speaking about what we spoke about I would say a year ago, and he's blowing a whistle on the negative use of the AI. And I see that it's breaking down. I see that this thing is like choppy and whatnot. As y'all could see, when you start talking about certain things, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. They might not want you to hear that. They might not want you to hear these solutions or, I'm not a boogeyman, but as you can see, you start talking about certain things, shit start breaking up out of nowhere. Right. But yeah, man. Yeah. It's a, it's a, it's a, it's just, it is what it is. And I promise you, I would never steer anyone wrong in the direction of AI or the tools that AI represents if it was not something that I already studied and I already was able to assess. Nah, you're just doing a picture editing. You know what I mean? You're just doing video editing with this tool. You're just basically creating uh, images and whatnot. So, it's but so much harm that you'll be doing by using an AI generator. Okay. Or utilizing chatbots and whatnot, or doing deep research and things of that nature. Like, no, we're not going there. Or automating processes and whatnot, so you could take some time off of your day to yourself. Okay. There's no harm in that. There's no harm in that. That's actually a plus. Okay. So we want you to empower yourself and not sour yourself. Ye are God. I'm gonna start talking like Unc. Ye are God. You know what I mean? So you could do whatever the fuck you want to do. What you put this shit into motion. You know what I'm talking about? You make this thing work for you. I never come across nothing that I had to work for, and I've been here for a very long time. So how is that gonna change? You know? Julian Assange is the whistleblower of our generation. So with him blowing that whistle, of course, that's going to bring a conversation into the light that should have been into the light a long time ago. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of know that the field is very theatric. This is theater. Okay. They're kind of working together. It's scripted. You know what I mean? If it wasn't scripted, they would have been talking about it the same time I was talking about it. It's literally the most important story in all of AI. Like it literally is the biggest story in AI. It was a story that the Pope conveniently ignored, even though he was having conferences about AI safety, AI this, AI that, but there was a whole AI program and everybody is watching it on their smartphones, TVs, and everything. That's the targeted campaign of a genocide that's taking place in Gaza, right? Shout out to Vibes, right? And it's all being ran by AI. But everybody talk about something else. So when you see Bush, I mean, when you see Trump and them saying, "Yo, we're doing the Stargate, we're doing the 500 billion, we're putting this into that," when they're building data centers in Memphis, and they're building all of these data centers, and everybody's saying we're going digital, we're going AI, and I'm explaining to you that they're literally perfecting a program of biometric targeting. Remember, all of this shit is going to be sold to these companies. All of this to these quote unquote businesses. You know what these corporations are that have policy enforcers, right? These oligarchs and these quote unquote authoritarians and stuff like that. We're gonna have to work through the sound if it's acting up. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see something real quick. Let me just check something. So happy together. Okay. So the Palantirs of the world, the Palantirs of the world. That's Peter Thiel in them. Palantir is one of the, for all of my traders out there, my people in the stock market, you understand what you know fully who Palantir is. For my conspiracy theorists and whatnot, just depends on what kind of theories you guys are into. You should know fully about Palantir and more importantly, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, who they say is rumored to legitly be running the government, right? Not just because of his influence over JD Vance, who is his acolyte. You know what I mean? He's his quote unquote Geppetto, and JD is his Pinocchio. Conveniently enough, right? This guy, JD Vance, who nobody knew of before, he's on the scene. He got bodies. He's already having antichrist claims, and the shit's sticking. It's actually sticking, and he just got on the scene. He was the last nigga to see the Pope, right? Pope gone. He had the trophy for the fucking championship. He dropped that and broke it, right? Um, he did a few other things. You know what I'm talking about? And he's just getting started. And the man behind him, right? His shadow boss, or it's not really a shadow, it's his handler, it's Peter Thiel, the billionaire, the guy who created PayPal and PayPal Mafia with Elon Musk. And he's LBGT, and he's the son of a Nazi, right? Who was raised in South Africa and then came into America. And literally, he's the one, he's pulling mad strings in the White House right now, right? He's beyond the sponsor of JD Vance. He was beyond the sponsor of him. He's a little further than that, you know? So he has this company called Palantir. Palantir might be the most dangerous company right now because Palantir is one of the top has some of the top government contracts and whatnot, and they deal with facial recognition. They deal with what they call predictive, precog, the shit you saw in Minority Report. They deal with pre-crime prediction software. They deal with facial recognition, tracking and whatnot, drone warfare. They deal with a lot of shit, right? So with Trump militarizing the police and whatnot, that's just the open door to bring in Palantir. But remember, what the people in Is It Real is doing with their weaponry while they're perfecting and they're sharpening their sword and they're perfecting their weaponry and they're showing people around the world who are looking for the new level of integration between AI, right? And quote unquote conventional warfare and whatnot. Look no further. Look no further, right? Than the open air live trade show that is an open air quote unquote cemetery, right? A real life Squid Game, a real life Hunger Games, right? A real life quote unquote uh genocide, right? And it's all right there in living color on TikTok and on other places. You know, it's on my timeline, and that's all AI. So, where do you think that technology is going to be exported? Because this is also America doing it under the guise of Is It Real? So that when that comes to America, what does that look like? Right? What is that going to look like? That's going to look like a lot of drones, a lot of facial technology, biometric technology, a lot of AI automated quote unquote those dogs and shit, the robots from Tesla. You know, I'm talking about walking around scanning people, biometric. They're gonna have the Palantir, the tracking devices, the real ID is coming, right? The real ID is coming. Okay. What is the real ID? They said that you're not going to be able to get on a plane or and travel in the quote unquote airports if you don't have a real ID. And that is definitely something that was brought up by many of the master teachers. And they told us what that real ID was about. And they've been putting that off for a long time. But you already know. Just see how your boy is moving and whatnot. That's coming under his watch, you know. Peter Thiel is definitely the beginning of yeah, Peter, that's the Rainbow Mafia. Peter Thiel and him is a part of the Rainbow Mafia. Hard body. You understand? Hard body. So you know, just know the players on the chessboard. You feel me? Or know rather the actors and like we know everything about Remick and Annie and everything. You know what I'm talking about? Well, in this theater, right? In this IMAX, you feel me? It's imperative that you know about these are not main characters. Okay? These are not necessarily main characters, but they're wildly dangerous and whatnot. In whatever capacity that they're in a movie, they have a lot of potential to be wildly dangerous. And their influence behind the scenes, okay, is something that as a strategist or as a researcher, if you're not studying that, you're not on your A game, you know? So, um, when, like I said, and please, by all means, this is a build, right? This is a build. You know, I'm talking about, I don't want nobody to get the chills, you know, when we talk about a time that has been quote unquote not just prophesized, but through the precession of the equinox, because we're in this Saturn cycle, you know, this whole thing with military and the popo and all of that, you know, and the shit that Trump is doing, you know, bringing that father, that heavy hand father shit, like that's all in the stars. You know, we're in the age of Leo right now because of the new pope. You know what I mean? Welcome to the age of Leo. You know, we'll talk about the Leos tonight. You feel me? We'll go through the quote unquote, we'll go through the whole lineage of the Leo popes. We'll get into that. I'm gonna really let Blue Pill, Pope Pablo, this is his plate. You feel me? I'm gonna warm it up with some more derbs. But this is you know what I mean? This is Murder She Wrote from Blue Pillar. This is his, you know what I'm talking about? You know, this is his work. So we got an American Pope. Interesting, but we'll talk about it. But back to what we were talking about with this quote unquote law and order and what's coming down the pipeline and how they're going to implement AI technology to quote unquote spot, tag, track, scan. They're going to use it in ways that they're using it right now in enterprise and some other things. This part of the AI is not the AI that I'm teaching. You know what I'm saying? This is the militarized, this is the quote unquote law enforcement, militarized, not militarized necessarily, um, surveillance technology, right? The same thing that they invested in post, uh, what's that shit? 9/11, right? The same thing. It's just an upgrade. You know, we're in a new epoch. We're in a new epoch right now. But everything was relegated on that technology that was used in that conflict. Where then they look how many people got clipped on the other side. Like if this was drill, just keep it a Buckington. You feel me? They clipped all of their ops and not one of them got clipped. I mean, just to keep it a buck. They was doing drills with beepers. They was doing drills. They hit a nigga on enemy turf. It was almost like they went on, it was almost like if somebody came on old block day, because they clipped the dude during Iran's presidential inauguration. Come on now. Is it real of them? Clipped the nigga. They one of their ops who was in, it was almost like if Drake had beef with Kendrick and niggas was at Rick Ross crib at the mansion, at the car show. And then they sent an OVO owl to clip him, right? And got up out of there. That was crazy. You feel me? All that was AI. That's all AI targeting. That's all AI precision. That's all AI work. They got some ill shit right now that they working with. You feel me? So just know that it would benefit you. It would behoove you. You know what I'm talking about? It would be of the most better strategy to know and to quote unquote learn and to master the technology because it's already been weaponized. It's a weapon. It's been it's already been done. Let's not even these people are paid actors. These people are control opposition, and these people are industry plants. So they bring the news a year later, right? But it's all a rollout. Julian Assange talks about the technology to bring the public's opinion on it, and then they begin to launch it. When they did the report on it a year ago and they blew it up, it wasn't it was that wasn't part of the plan. That's why they buried that story to the point where I couldn't even say it on a show. They clipped my show 2 times when I mentioned the name of the program. That's why I'm not saying the name of the program because when the story first broke, whenever I said it on a show, yeah, I was on the show if y'all remember, they clipped that shit. Boom. I started the live back up again. It was a Third Eye Thursday. I said the word again, they clipped it. Boom. I said, okay, I know what's going on here. So Julian Assange, in a sense, is another way of them having a press release. He's like a PR, but he's in the disguise of a whistleblower, but he's still PR for them because he's the one who says, "Oh, I found something out and I'm going to report it." His reporting is just really like a public news, like a news release. Like You feel me? Because Associate Press is gonna run with it, the press is gonna run with it, Wikipedia is gonna index it, and it's gonna cause a lot of quote unquote journalists. It's actually like he's almost stamping it by saying it because of his perceived intellectual or his perceived journalistic integrity, which we really know. He's a paid actor. They found him on Craigslist. You feel me? They be like, yo, these people that's locked up, them niggas be in them Sweden, them Swiss jails. They be in them Swiss suites, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? They be in them Swiss suites. Cause think about it. In the hood, they go live inside of the pokey. How many people went live and showed you any of these celebrities that's supposed to be in jail? I never seen a jail picture with homie Julian Assange or the other dude locked it. Supposed to be locked up, Edward Snowden. I never seen him with the washing. You know how they be having the flicks where they got like ramen noodle setups? Huh? Where they showing they drip. I ain't seen none of that from none of these dudes. So it leads me to believe it's questionable. The only reason that I even say Diddy is in jail because there's eyewitnesses of, you know what I'm saying, this like, yo, I could vouch that this nigga is in a pokey. But everybody's not in a pokey. Not everybody. Not to say that I promise if there's 100 people they say is locked up, please believe three of them niggas is fake locked up. They show up, they pull up in a van and they jump out in a jumpsuit and you be like, free the homie. You feel me? They just had a report that came out that said they put 70 something trillion dollars to rich people to build an underground city. So you mean to tell me that every single person that they say that died somewhat wasn't a nigga that just wanted to get to the underground city fast? Right? Because if I want to get to the underground city, I'd be like, oh, the helicopter crashed, or you know what I'm saying? Some crazy shit happened, and the niggas in the underground city away from you, monkey ass knuckles. You know what I mean? They got underground Starbucks. They got underground Wendy's. You feel me? That's like level one underground. So imagine what they got on level 6 and 7. You feel me? But yeah, I don't mean to scare you niggas. But yeah, the AI shit, when they use it for their own good, these are young, you know what I mean? There's incels in charge right now. They got incels in power. You know how they said Revenge of the Nerds? This is Revenge of the American Psycho, right? That's what you see in the White House. Revenge of American Psycho. Christian Bale, my G. They're not nerds. They're not even misfits, right? They're not nerds. This is biffing them. They're not nerds per se, so it's not Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds is Silicon Valley's come up. That's the Revenge of the Nerds. Is Zuckerberg and Bill Gates want to just murk niggas, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Just want to murk niggas, you know? Yeah, the Pope from Chicago. Gang, gang, my nigga. What we talking about? Gang, nigga. Huh? This nigga from Lamron. 300. 300. What we talking about? So, in lieu of all of these things, just to show you the Saturn is on a shit, right? We got a Scorpion moon coming up. We got to get ready for that, but we'll talk about it. Yeah, I heard about Alcatraz. Trump is going to open up Alcatraz, right? We're going to have Penitentiary 4 movie coming out. My niggas, get ready, right? Cop City, okay? So on top of that Alcatraz shit, there's a lot of law and order shit going on right now. Saturn is up in this bitch, up in this bitch. Just, you know what I'm talking about? Just know that the party and the bullshit is kind of like on pause. Like we could still do the juke joint, but we got to cut the bullshit out. You feel me? They talking about sending niggas to El Salvador, to the mega jail, to the mega pokey. Then they talking about opening up Alcatraz. Then there's gonna be I think in the month of May, there's going to be a Supreme Court decision that's going to open up the fact whether he could deport these monkey ass niggas or nah. Right? That's coming up. But yeah, they already talking about swapping niggas for bitcoins with the Bitcoin president in the super jail. You know they tie in bonds to the bitcoins because El Salvador deals in Bitcoin tender. El Salvador deals in Bitcoin tender. So whatever deals that they're gonna make to send prisoners over to El Salvador, somebody is getting bitcoins out of that deal. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just telling my niggas. I'm telling my niggas, you feel me? If you're gonna be in that orange jumpsuit, be like my nigga with his chin up, Mr. Hinton Jr. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. So Cop City opens up in Atlanta. Okay? Cop City opens up in Atlanta. And I don't think people understand what the fuck that means. Hmm? I don't really think people understand what that really means. Cop City opened up in Atlanta. Cop City is going to change everything. Promise you. Not in a good way. So Trump has granted diplomatic impunity to the quote unquote fraternal order of Popo, right? Who are right now eating red blood because they people got laid up. Got Peter rolled and whatnot, and the person who Peter rolled him, you feel me? He got them in their feelings, and they feeling like the young drill niggas where they like, yo, we can't let this one slide. You understand? Same way that the drill niggas in the hood, this little snotty nose, that's walking around with the Dracos and all of that and the M16s, and they be like, "Yo, would you be able to squash it with the ops?" And they're like, "Nah, it's blood in the water, like never." The shit generational, it's last man standing type shit, right? So peep the psychology, peep the programming, peep the propaganda that's taking place right now. You feel me? So Cop City opens up in the A, right? The shit is humongous. Let's go ahead and let's do the research. We here to teach, right? We're not here to preach. We here to teach. So let's do the research a little bit. I'll pull it up so we understand what Cop City is. I don't want to assume that everybody is familiar with the term, you know what I mean? Because I believe it was a TV series or something, or some stupid shit called Cop City. And people might think that it's, some jokey shit. So the thing about Cop City that opened up people's eyes, right, is the close proximity that Cop City has with the IDF. Okay. Um, Cop City is a funnel in a tunnel now for America, right? And a quote unquote the American police force and the IDF, right? And that's crazy. That's crazy. And this thing is going to serve as a center for police around the world, right?
actors are created equal. Let's take a look at two applications here side by side. Now, first off, high-quality direct-to-film print. The controversial Atlanta Public Safety Training Center officially opens today. Police officers, firefighters, and other first responders will use this facility. Officials say the center replaces outdated Atlanta Public Safety Training Center officially opened.
Come on, man.
The controversial Atlanta Public Safety Training Center officially opens today. Police officers, firefighters, and other first responders will use this facility, but officials say the center replaces outdated facilities. Opponents of the center say its construction destroyed much-needed green space. They also say it should have been on the ballot to vote on, and that's why it's unwanted by some community members. The site is also where Manuel Tehran was shot and killed more than 2 years ago during a protest. Investigators say Tehran shot a Georgia state trooper in the leg. Troopers returned fire, killing the 26-year-old. Tehran's parents have filed a lawsuit seeking damages and demanding a jury trial.
Ultracolor Max heat transfers ship the same day when ordered by 8 a.m. and apply at a low 200.
A name just released of the victim who died in a car crash earlier this morning.
So yeah, you're not going to necessarily hear the objection or the anything controversial coming from the news, right? They're just going to give you the basic shit. Oh, nah, 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 nah. But understand that this is definitely something to pay attention to in terms of, just what's going on with the encroachment. And if you begin to see an uptick in extrajudicial activity and whatnot, and if you see an uptick in the quote unquote aggressive campaigns against melanated people by the policy officers, then you already know that it's being fueled and it is being quote unquote, it's being done on purpose, mainly because they have to justify places like Cop City. They have the facility now. So now it's time to activate certain things. They're just not building that to do the same things that they were doing before, right? So for my deep divers, go ahead and do your homework on Cop City. It's worth it, right? And also, like I said earlier, he's given them immunity. Trump has given them carte blanche, and he's given them diplomatic immunity to basically get away with a lot of egregious acts, right? And they're utilizing the defiance against their authority by the brother who is literally Mr. Hinton Jr., who is literally a willing martyr, right? He's giving off martyr energy, right? That's that chin up, you know what I'm saying? The fact that he's willing to accept his fate, right? Rodney Hinton Jr., say his name, Rodney Hinton Jr., right? For the symbolicness, right? At the end of the day, the symbolicness, fuck that. We're going to go for symbolic gestures because at the end of the day, the great divine speaks through signs, and there's a lot of symbology in things that we do and the shit that we, you know what I mean? The shit that we see and the things that speak to us. Symbolically, I fucks with it. You take one of mine's, then what choice am I left with? You understand? I become the judge and the jury. I'm gonna take it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't stand underneath the jurisdiction of whatever judge and the jury y'all niggas have pledged allegiance to. I don't acknowledge that. You know, I'm more of a biblical man in that sense. My name is Philip. So we're gonna have to get into, biblical narrative, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You take your future, somebody takes your future away, then you have no future. So temporary insanity begins to ensue. And there's been plenty of people in history who have been, the courts and people's court have been very sympathetic with fathers and mothers who lose their minds, right? Temporarily, of course, you don't remain like that forever. But there have been cases and case study, right? Where people have snapped. Because if there's anything in the world that could be proven through both a court of law, clinical researches, is that the traumatic impact of losing one's child, right? Similar to the quote unquote magical impact of birthing a child, which is called a Kairos moment. Okay, it has a magical. It's a moment that literally freezes time. Kairos, Kairos. Look it up. Right. So the opposite, right, is quote unquote attributed when you lose a child, especially if you were shown said child was murdered. When you were told other than that, I believe they told the father that the child was not murdered, right? And then he saw the cam, he saw the body cam, right, of the officer, and I believe it was a headshot. Okay, I believe it was a headshot because he got hit twice and he was out of here. And I believe the popo hit him with a headshot, and the father saw that through the body cam, right? Temporary insanity, not vigilante. You understand? Not that a vigilante is somebody completely different. This nigga's John Q. It's not vigilanteism. It's temporary insanity. You get at least an hour to lose it. For the niggas that's mad tame and relaxed, I'm wary of you. And I'm understanding of him. That's just the world I live in. You know what I mean? They could, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Could ship me to El Salvador for saying that, my nigga. It is what it is. You know? I am more understandable based off of the what I've learned in my quote unquote Christianized society that I'm encompassed in, right? By not by choice, right? But in this society, I've heard very ever so often, far and few between, that an eye for eye or tooth for a tooth was the honorable way that you would quote unquote defend something that you covered. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, they should even ask the Pope, the American Pope from Chicago, how he feels about shit like that. You know? Seems to be a woke Pope. So I just say now is not a time to be in the streets. Now is a time to learn from teachers such as myself how you can activate 100 income streams with your team of geniuses and whatnot, right? Because that's what a lot of people in these streets are, because there was a report that came out that said that the majority of Fortune 500 CEOs have the psychological attributes of them street niggas, right? People in jail, maniacs, killers, and whatnot. That's what the article said. So people in corporate America are literally doppelgangers to the people who are in the streets, or what they call the trenches, or just outside, you know, flirting with death, throwing bricks at the penitentiary and all of that. Um, Even teams of people who are just doing 9 to 5, and or even teams of people who are trying to figure it out. You can start on zero. I prefer you do. You can start at rock bottom with nothing. I prefer you start this race with nothing, because when you're able to create something, you're gonna honor it more. Henceforth, why 89% of people who come into consciousness get stripped. Like when you go up north and whatnot and they cut your hair, and they strip you and make you take off your street clothes and you put on a jumpsuit. When you come into consciousness, you get stripped of your ego. You get stripped of shit. You get stripped of some of your belongings and all of that stuff. It's almost like you going up north. Can I get the emoji in the chat if you can understand what I'm saying? If you can relate? Did you get quote unquote stripped? You know what I mean? Did you get audited? You know what I'm saying? Did you get fleeced? Right? Taken for everything. Everything went away. Poof. Because once you learn that the shit is fake, you don't have the same appeal. It don't have the same hold anymore. It's not really, it's not founded. So it begins to drift. And then you still got to live through the matrix and you still got to play the game. So you still got to play the bill game and all of these stupid ass games. But it's like, yo, I just really, that shit is not, I know what real wealth is. I know what real wealth is. If I could just lay up and fucking read and whatnot and just learn this shit instead of getting up and punching the clock and resetting the clock on my groundhog day or resetting the clock on my breakthrough, my nigga, then I would be in a better place. But I gotta play the fucking groundhog game. I gotta be a hamster in a wheel. But I'm learning this shit not real. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the confusion comes in. You know what I mean? And yes, you get stripped, you get stripped bare, but then the shit that you build back up, right? The wealth that you build back up, we talking spiritual bank account. You know what I'm talking about? We're not talking about fiat anymore. We're talking about real currency, real energy. Oh, wait, I got this bag off of healing a nigga. I got this bag off of teaching somebody something. I got this bag off of getting my people fly with the Drippington. You know what I'm talking about? Switched up their whole wardrobe. Took them out of made in China designer to some designer made in Bina. You know what I'm talking about? It hit differently. It hit differently. Made in Bina, nigga. Not China, made in Bina. You know? Let me write that down. So, yes, I play. And the money it just hit differently. It's a different type of wealth. You get spiritual bank accounts. You feel me? You open up spiritual bank accounts. You opening up you have your spiritual cup runneth over. Your cup runneth over with spiritual coins. You getting sonic coins from the ancestor. You getting ancestor money and whatnot. And yes, it appears as dead presidents because those are ancestors too. Okay. It appears as dead presidents because shit, those are ancestors too. They just pale faces. But it don't matter about it, they are ancestors. So the ancestors is bringing around the money for you. That's why I tell a person, they be like, oh my goodness, going through consciousness without having too much in my bank account. I'm like, nigga, this is monopoly. This is monopoly. You signed up to play a game, my nigga. It's the Squid Games. You will not be able to play this game without everything. You only get what you need, nigga. You think you could play the Squid Game and play the post lottery game at the same time? No, nigga. You got to win the game, then you live the post lottery life. That's how people got it fucked up. They don't understand what this is. They don't understand what they signed up for. They got caught up in the bling. They thought that they were supposed to be drippy like polite. You know what I mean? They wanted to be made in China, designer. These niggas wanted to be dandies, nigga. Talk black to me. These niggas wanted to be dandies. Huh? Black dandies and shit. These niggas wanted the dandy life. Huh? They want the soft life. A day after the Shahada. You know what I'm talking about? A day after the Shahada. A day after the Bobby lecture. These niggas want the soft life. They want to have it easy and whatnot. They want to get flued out to motherfucking they want to get flued out to not Cancun, nigga. They want to get flued out to what's the other one? Everybody went to Tulum, nigga. They want that Tulum flown out and off the first off of one meditation. Nah, fam, it's not how it works. What the fuck? What work are you putting in, my niggas? You supposed to be working off karma, nigga. Fuck you talking about? You supposed to be working off karma, nigga. Where's your struggle at, nigga? You know what I'm talking about? You gotta work your legs, nigga. It's this shit is this is a workout. This is a workout. It's not for the weak. These niggas treating YouTube like the NBA. Y'all might as well start collecting cards on your favorite players and whatnot. Turn this shit in. Let me get a sneaker deal at least, nigga. Let me get a sneaker deal at least, cause y'all treat this shit like sports. Yeah, I'm gonna go on. Like the channels are ESPN for niggas right now. The channels are the ESPN. We out here, we out here on the floor like we are ball players, because that's how they treat this. And I'm not necessarily mad at that. It is what it is. I ain't too mad at it. But no, we are all on mission. You can make it look good because it's great. This is the great fucking, what else would you want to do in life? This is the great death, my niggas. This is the greatest death you ever known. You know what I'm talking about? This is the greatest death that you've ever experienced. This is the road to awe. You are on the cross. You know what I'm talking about? You're burning the fucking, you know, you going at it. There's a war going on outside. You getting your, I hope so. You getting your, you getting your, like how they had the box with the with the blickies in it, right? Stack, smoke. You getting right for the war. You got to choose your battles. Because Remick is always pulling up. Especially if you niggas is outside too late. Remick, Mary, they still pulling up. Stacks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know about stacks? Nigga pull up with some stacks. Some girls get their cheeks clapped. Some niggas get motherfucking robbed and taken for advantage when Stacks pulls up with the stacks. You smoke a nigga. You know? This is happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the war is in your mind. You know? So the master teachers, not just the master teachers, they are a throughway to a body of work, a breath of fresh air, a wealth of knowledge. The master teachers are almost like tour guides. To be honest with you, we don't want to worship no man. They're like tour guides. They're going to tell you the books to read. They're going to help you with your path. They're like traffic guards in the Adjustment Bureau, right? Because in the movie Adjustment Bureau, they showed you, based off of the decisions that you make, your whole creation changes, your whole trajectory, your whole story. Like they got the video games that based off of what door you go in or based off what choice you make, the whole game will switch based off of that because you made a life altering decision. Or the Netflix, they had a Netflix algorithm where you basically, based off of what you said on the remote that you wanted to do, the whole movie would switch up. The Adjustment Bureau is a must watch. You know, if y'all out, you know, date night or, you know, just watch it by whatever. Adjustment Bureau. Adjustment Bureau. Check it out. It's all about the decisions you make. So you should be informed prior to making decisions, because we're making uninformed decisions or we're making decisions that are outside of our control and whatnot. We're being controlled from within. Think parasites, think vampirism, think everything that you've been learning from your tour guides, because they're talking about the parasites, right? KT, Mama Pill, they brought that. Yaki, Dr. Be Serious, right? Many others. Then you learning about the vampirism, where you have parasites that are utilizing you as a host, trapping your soul and whatnot, and controlling shit. That's taking place, right? Then you have Christianity and these religions and these quote unquote programs and whatnot. They have vampired and they're controlling you and they're making you base your decision based off of the programming, right? Another form. So this is all about, so you wind up making you wind up making the decision to put yourself in a box, to put yourself in a quote unquote checkmate, to put yourself in a compromised state and whatnot. It's like your hands because of the decisions that you make, but they're uninformed decisions, and some of the decisions are outside of your quote unquote control because you're not in control, right? So the key is to get in control. And the research and the studying, you study enough, you begin to study thyself. Once you begin to study thyself, then you're in the motherfucking driver's seat. And once you're in the driver's seat, like you're in the driver's seat of any car, right? The possibilities of where you can go is endless. You're in the driver's seat. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Dark City. Remember Dark City? Yep, Dark City showed you that. Inception showed you that, right? You'll see the reality change around you. Doctor Strange showed you that, right? Sometimes we say, yo, I wish I could go back in time and, I'll make a different decision. There's decisions that I want to go back in time and change. You feel me? I want to get in I want to go back. I want to get the opportunity to do certain things. A motherfucker be like, yo, if I had the opportunity to do it all over again, I'd do the same thing. I don't know about that. There's some shit that I misplaced and I still want that shit. There's some artwork that I got rid of by mistake. I want to stop that. There's certain things. So these decisions that we make, sometimes we'll regret them, and they took us in a certain quote unquote path, or it took us down a certain path, and it changed the trajectory. Adjustment Bureau. It's the fork in the road. It's the fork in the road. Yeah, once you in the driver's seat, it's up from there. Exactly. The butterfly effect. Thank you. These niggas talking about the Mandela effect. God damn it, what about the butterfly effect? Don't leave that out. Don't neglect that. Yo, if there's anybody in the building that works with like pinched nerves and you know what I mean? This is some shit that I went through before, like 2 years ago, and the shit is back. I need some assistance, bro. You know what I'm talking about? For real, for real. Nigga been laying on hot blankets. So, yeah. But yeah, interesting times nonetheless. Interesting times nonetheless, right? Clap it up for yourselves that you made it this far in the movie. You know what I'm talking about? And there's so much more to come. There's so much more to witness. There's so much more to be a part of. There's so much doors that have opened up since your eyes have opened up. Think about that. How many doors have opened up since your eyes have opened up? You have to be very mindful, you have to be very careful, and you have to be very demure when you utter the words, right? When you utter when you utter the words that, this stuff isn't doing anything for me. I don't really like it here like that. Or I don't know why I'm here. Look, there's people who really want to be here. You feel me? There's people who really want to be here. You know what I'm talking about? So for you just saying that, you know what I mean? That's a smack in their face. You got to be very mindful of that. And for the people who don't give credit to the change that is taking place and opportunities that are presenting themselves and the doors that are opening and the windows that are opening and some of the quote unquote solutions that are staring them in their face, you feel me? Then I will highly suggest, I will highly suggest, you know, that you really sit down and meditate and be 100% honest with yourself, because everybody's experience is completely different. It's impossible for me to even share my experiences, even if I spoke about it for 24 hours nonstop. I still wouldn't be able to articulate everything that I'm experiencing and has experienced and will experience. It's just impossible. So, with that being said, everyone is their own universe. You know, everything has to be their own. I mean, everybody is their own universe. So I don't put anything past anybody, you know? I don't put it past anybody. So we all seeing some shit. We all experiencing some things. We all are having breakthroughs and, seeing portals open up, and the proverbial Red Seas in our lives are parting and whatnot. You know what I mean? Some of us are passing our tests and whatnot. Some of us are, getting out of completing our grades and leveling up. And some of us are getting left back. And some of us are in detention and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And some of us are just doing summer school, night school, you know, and a motherfucking extra year as a super senior. So it's all good. It's all good. Earth is definitely not our original dwelling place. That has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's gone beyond what they call theory to theorem, like the word right behind my head right here by brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad, who, by the way, if y'all did not hear the show, let me drop that in the chat. How about that? If y'all didn't hear this monumental classic that we did on Wednesday. No, we did it on Tuesday with Dr. Wesley Muhammad on the channel. I'm going to drop the link. It's called Hip Hop Theorem, an Introduction. We have an upcoming lecture coming on May 21st. This is for the Patreon monthly lecture series. And this is our special guest for this year. I mean, for this month and whatnot of May. And the brother, he's going to quote unquote bring a certified classic to the table. All right. So definitely check out the Know the Ledger, the link. Click the link right there for the YouTube. You can watch that immediately after watching this. It is guaranteed going to, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something. Me, Blue, and Dr. Wesley, we go way back to Blog Talk Radio days when he was a KTL alumni. And it was a good link up, you know what I mean? It was a good reunion. It was a great reunion. Um, so shout out to you, Ross. Terms, you said I'm in detention. I gotta get out, right? So just knowing that you're in detention is, the first step, you know? Just knowing that you're in detention is the first step. So you're a legend for just admitting that you may be in detention. Some people won't even admit that. You feel me? So shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? And my best thing to tell anybody that's in detention, they say that discipline is the key to get out of detention. You have to give up something to get something. Okay? You got to give up something in order to get something. So, the same way in Monopoly, when you skip and you got to go to jail, you got to either roll that triple, that six, or you got to give up some bread. Okay? So, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to detach from? You know, especially if you want to get something as lucrative as, overabundance of currency and whatnot, it will benefit you to have a vice. Because if you're willing to cut the throat of that vice and you're willing to sacrifice that vice, if you're willing to utilize that vice as the antagonist and the protagonist, then you, my friend, you could come up. You come up through the resistance. You come up by resisting that which is your urge or your vice. You come up the same way in a gym. You come up by resisting the motherfucking weight that's on your body. You come up, you beef up. You come up by pushing the weight, right? Adversity, you smile in the face. Okay? That's how you come up. So when you're trying to get something and that devil is on your back or that monkey is on your shoulder and whatnot, the more that you resist it, the more that you could, you know what I mean? Like how when Mayweather be sparring and whatnot, then that's the further to your goal you could get. But when you get smacked up by the evils, right? When you let the evils smack you up, my nigga, then they're gonna have you like AB. You're gonna be looking like AB and the dude that Rolly beat up. What's your man in there? What's your man Ryan Garcia? Somebody should have popped on him right after the fight for saying what he said about people. Our people, right? After he got packed up, somebody should have came to the yo. That's that shit you said about our people, nigga. Fuck out of here. They still had him around us, right? That's what I'm saying. Remick them. You know, niggas is addicted to Remick them. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's very apparent. But at least now we know what we in the midst of for the moment until the amnesia, until they hit us with that shit again from whatchamacallit, from Men in Black. You know what I'm saying? I think they slide that shit through Netflix series and stuff like that, but we be getting hit with that shit a lot. So let's talk about this new pope. Let's talk about this new pope, Pope Leo. You know what I'm talking about? Pope Leo. I think about Leonidas. Pope Leo. My nigga out of Chicago. Okay? Chicago. Yes. Fasting is denying yourself. Start there. Something that you can initiate with no money down. Start there. Okay? Some people went on a 90-day. I remember Dr. Sabi was on a 90-day, boy. And, he was battling himself to the point where he was on stage in Philly and he dropped to his knees. Feel me? Because he was damn near emancipated off of the fast. But he found his second win and he popped back up and he went on for 2 more hours and shut the spot down. Okay? That's the power that you begin to pull from. We get amnesia whenever there's a Democrat in office. True speech, right? True talk. Trump and them is not going to allow you to get amnesia. They're actually waking us up. Trump and them are the opposite. They're not going to allow you to go to sleep. The Negroes that are going to sleep around Trump are just lapdogs. You understand? Check it out. So it's very interesting that he chose the name Leo, right? It's very interesting that he chose the name Leo. There's a long lineage of Leos. And I'm going to do us the favor. We're going to go and read from this list of Leos so we could get it together, right? So let's go and check it out. So here we go. Pope's name Leo. Their achievements, their controversies, and key historical notes. So Leo the Great. It's about to be Leo season. It's Leo season right now. Leo the Lion, Leonidas. Leo the Great defined papal primacy in the tome of Leo at the Council of Chalcedon, persuaded Attila the Hun to abandon his march on Rome, strengthened doctrine on the two natures of Christ, right? That was him. Very pivotal role, okay? The nature of Christ. He was the one that laid it out. Critics said that his expansive claims of Petrine authority sowed East-West tension, okay? Leo II approved the Third Council of Constantinople's condemnation of monotheism, promoted sacred music and liturgical Latin hymnody. The main controversies and crises: brief reign, only 10 months left, little imprint, some confusion over his view of Honorius I. Leo III crowned Charlemagne emperor of the Romans, forging the Holy Roman Empire. He restored and fortified Rome's walls. He was accused of perjury and adultery by Roman nobles, survived a violent street attack, and cleared himself via oath. Leo IV built the Leonine Wall around Vatican Hill, repaired St. Peter's after Arab raid, organized 849 naval league that won Battle of Ostia. Conflict with Bavarian princes over southern Italy imposed papal authority militarily. There's a lot of Leos, so we're gonna go through some of them. So the long Leo 1878, 1903, the longest Leo, right? Who issued this Leo the 13th, he issued the Rerum Novarum, founding modern Catholic social teaching, encouraged Thomism, opened the Vatican archives, diplomatic outreach to science and non-Catholics. He condemned Americanism and Freemasonry. Opponents viewed overtures to workers as socialism, right? So this is your medieval pope, okay? This is the first pope that was filmed and recorded, and this was the one who bridged medieval papacy and the 20th century church. So that up to 1903, this is the one who brought the bridge to old world and that new world, right? Patterns to note: total Leos 13, right? Plus one disputed anti-pope status for Leo. Wow, the 8th. Okay, anti-pope. High impact Leos. All right, each presided over turning points. Okay, the Chalcedon, the Holy Roman Empire, Reform, Reformation, Catholic social doctrine, right? And their recurring themes are defense or rebuilding of Rome, alliance or clash with secular powers, reform versus corruption cycles. And like I said, I'm going to let Blue Pill do his thing on this topic here, either on Mineral Ministries, which is on Sunday, or Knowing Him. Pope Pablo is gonna pop out before Sunday and give y'all this work. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of Leos, and he is the latest one. He is an American pope in the era of Donald Trump. He will definitely be a pope who is going to appease Donald Trump. It was even said and rumored that Donald Trump and some of the quote unquote oligarchs in America have their hands in the quote unquote American Pope, or them choosing an American Pope in a conclave, you know. But yeah, we'll see. They said that this is a woke Pope, you know. was in Peru, and he also was Pope that was residing over an area where they had pedophiles who were basically being shipped to his province, and there was some cover up taking place. So he's tied into a lot. He's tied into the boogerism, and he's tied into the quote unquote payoff. You know, he's tied into some of that controversy around that. So yeah. Um, yeah. But yeah, man. Like I said, we're not gonna be here for all night. You feel me? We're not gonna be here for all night. I wanted to pop out and chop it up with y'all. Let's see how y'all doing. Let y'all know what we got going on tomorrow with the workshop, day one of the workshop for our 100 income streams. Let me pull that up so y'all can see that. Smell me. Shout out to Spin City. I'm talking about. Shout out to Spin. Shout out to my mods, Copper Moon, and everybody in the building. We see you. We see you. We see you. We see you. So yeah, 100 income streams, AI accelerated 4.4. All right. AI accelerated 4.4 every Friday at 8 p.m. all the way up to the 30th. Okay. The economy moves at the speed of AI. Your bank balance should too. In this fast-paced workshop series, two prolific revenue hackers, Spin City and Red Pill, hand you a blueprint for 100 real-world income streams you can launch or level up immediately. No MBA, no trust fund, or Silicon Valley zip code is required. Which you will unlock AI-powered cash flow tactics, automations, agents, and prompt engineerings that print money while you sleep. Low lift, high leverage hustles, digital products, micro subscriptions, affiliate stacks, data licensing, and more. Fast track funding, unconventional capital sources, crypto plays, and community backed raises, executive spirits, weekly action steps, so you leave with revenue, not just notes. All right. So the format is 4 live masterclasses. All right, at Fridays at 8 p.m. on Zoom, Zoom only, Q&A hot seat, interactive Notion boards and templates, and then a lifetime replay access. So you get access to the replays for your lifetime. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. You know what I mean? I gotta get back to work. I just want to say thank you all for your time. Thank you for your attention tonight. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get up out of here with the 44s. All right. Peace, love, and light to the family. Stay dangerous.
Touching you, I'm just smudging you. Red, blue, purple light. Facts. Red, blue, purple light. Red, red, and blue, purple light. Prince. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. If we don't put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for whatever adversity you feel. I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure